Stop right there. Yeah, you. If you like all things entertainment, current events, or Hollywood, then look no further. Creator to Creators, hosted by director Meosha Bean of Horror Noir, interviews filmmakers and creatives from around the world. Join in on the fun, guest celebrities, and informative information to have as a creator. Hit subscribe and stay connected to Creator to Creators.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creators to Creators today. Today, we have a special guest.
It's a cool day.
It's a cool day. I love it. What a great title. First of all, where did that come from?
It came from our label head.
Yeah.
It actually came from a label head, our mentor, coach, all of those good titles. His name is Olskool Ice-Gre, industry vet. He actually has been behind or been in the machine or the fighting force to the names that we know of today, like Kanye West, Big Sean, Tiana Taylor. Back in the day, loud music, whereas Wu-Tang Clan, all those good things is what and whatnot. But he actually took us on and put us under his wing, and It's a Cool Day is actually his brainchild. So he introduced us together. We vibed and we made some music together. And from the first song and from the inception, he was just like, "Hey, I think you guys should be a group, and I think you guys should call yourself It's a Cool Day." And we looked at each other and we like, yeah, I like that.
I love that. I love that. It's always good when it works, right? Because if it didn't, it's like,
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be terrible. So tell me from a little bit about your childhood individually, and then how you guys came together and then to create the music that you're creating now.
Okay. So me, we're both from Chicago. I'm from the South Side.
All right.
Yeah. South Side, let's represent,
No, it's all good. No, West Side.
But yeah, so I have been rapping since I was a toddler. My brothers would make me rap for people in the neighborhood. So I would just walk around rapping for people, knew everybody in the neighborhood. So I just always rap for them. They always be like, they call me Lil Craig back then. So they would just tell me to bust a flow, you know what I mean? So I would just do something quick for them, whatever. From there, I kind of picked up production a little bit, a little Fruity Loops here and there. Then yeah, shout out Fruity Loops. High school, I took music a little more seriously. I did choir, concert choir. Kanye West concert choir is a world-renowned choir. Been everywhere with them. Did opera in high school. Yeah, super cool experience. And then I kind of put it down for a minute, because I didn't really see it as a viable career option for me. I wanted to go to school and everything, I was inspired by my wife now, right, to really kind of pursue it. And then I went to Thailand while I was in college, and I kind of just saw the way that they were living. And it wasn't so much focused on materialistic things, but more so just living their lives, doing what they found enjoyable. And I always found music super enjoyable, and therapeutic. So I picked it back up, moved to LA, and that's when I met Day, through Olskool Ice-Gre. And we kind of it just happened so organically. We put it together since then, and that birth, it's a cool day. Yeah.
Nice. What about you?
For me, I definitely started at a young age. I think a lot of these stories kind of started around the same time. So, well, at least for me, I'm a second generational artist as well.
Okay.
So my dad actually pursued music back in the early 90s. Well, in the early 90s, falling into the early 2000s, he pursued music with his group Phase 2 back in Chicago. They was just some guys, some young guys that could sing very well and trying to, figure out the industry. And they had some, some success as well. But my dad took me everywhere. So I caught the bug pretty early. He took me rehearsals, recording sessions, performances, even seeing my dad on TV. Like there was this famous show back in the days called Jenny Jones Show, and then Ricky Lake, and like I saw my dad perform on those things. So it's like,
Nice.
instantly I was just like, I want to do that. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, so I just caught the bug and just, picked up the piano, learned some chords, learned how to write, develop songs and stuff like that. My dad was really big on, creating your own music, creating your world, and also even having a love for the business of it as well, like understanding what marketing is, understanding how to write certain melodies to fit certain moods to things. And I learned that very early on from my dad, with the help of my dad as well. So yeah, kept going. I kept going. I've always been a music creative head all the way throughout grammar school, elementary, middle, high school. I was able to go to college. Definitely, college dropout status. I was like, man, I was like, I did the first like 2 years. I'm like, man, okay, I'm cool. But I think I always knew what I wanted to do. So it's like I went back home, met up with some other people, some other cats, and we developed some groups here and there. I developed more, tighten up my skills and sharpen my skills as far as like producing and writing and engineering, and traveled a few places. Like cool. Like I think that, there's a point in time where, those things kind of click and certain things kind of click. So I was able to go to Europe and be able to see things that was going on over there. And I came back and it's like my world just kind of like changed and it kind of like expanded as far as
Mm.
ideas and creativity and everything. So yeah, so I think that says a lot in our music too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. When I listened to it, I was like, wow, the body of work and the quality is phenomenal. And I love the
Appreciate that.
interlude. Is that what the part where the lady's
Interlude,
talking?
yeah.
Yeah.
I love her accent. I was like, oh yes. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
questions, and
Shout
I
out
love the,
to
Yeah.
yeah, man, the questions
Yeah,
that she
shout out to
asked
Grace
were,
and Heidi. They did their thing, man. They did their
yeah,
thing. It's
it was
awesome. And they're actually from the UK. It's like it's not even a impersonation. Like they're
love
actually
that.
from the UK.
I love that. I love that. I was like, oh yeah, I love this. I like this a lot. I'm obsessed. No, but I think what I like is the questions that, that they're asking are very interesting. Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, this is it's not just the body of work, but it's also just like, you're looking at, life and different, like just things differently. It's like almost like, a thesis. I felt like I was like learning a lot. I was like, this is I'm dancing, I'm listening, but I'm also like, oh, I never thought of this question. Like that's interesting to
Mm,
ask. Like those questions of like the three levels of influence. What is
Yeah.
it? Money.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah.
Respect. And I really love that because that's a really real question. And so
philosophical, yeah.
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 What made you guys go that direction with it? And what do you think for you guys? What was the overall like body of work and what were you trying to get across to people?
Um,
Well, I would initially start off with the questions. Once again, you're going to be hearing this throughout a lot of our interview. Olskool Ice-Gre, he is the one that actually developed those questions.
Oh, all right.
So with the album being done or getting done, and I did have the idea of it only started with kind of like one interlude or an idea for an interlude, and
Mhm.
after that he was able to like, hey, I think you should have like a prelude or
yeah.
some type of conversation to everyone. Like, and
Wow.
I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
well, cool, and I knew I wanted to have a foreign accent or something. He was like, oh, I think I can make that happen for you. So,
Awesome.
yeah, so he was able to develop those questions, send it to them, without any other scripted type of anything. Everything was organic, very much like this, this interview. And he was like, hey, these are the questions. You guys answer it however you guys want to answer them. And we got him back and it just hit us like, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, that, you know, they kind of open up the meanings to the songs even more. So so yeah, so that's definitely how that happened.
And it's
Cool.
cool because like it kind of worked that way in the way that we recorded the music too. Like
Mm,
all of the songs that we worked on, they were kind of based on a conversation that Day and I had, right?
mhm.
And it didn't like we weren't like we were gonna have a conversation and then we're gonna record music based on the conversation we did. It just was organic. Like this is how the music flowed. So it was really cool like that Olskool was kind of able to embody the conversations that we had, and it just fit into the project. And as far as like the message that we're trying to communicate, I think it's more of a feeling or a way to like be than an actual like
Okay.
message. uh it's more so about like what we're trying to kind of like project, which is like um vulnerability, honesty, kind of bringing that back into music, and not necessarily projecting so much ego in it, but like actually bringing a conversation, like just posing these questions to like, you know, people that listen. Like, what do you think about this? Like,
Yeah.
how do you feel about when you're first meeting someone, and you can kind of see yourself falling in love, but also like, the pitfalls of certain relationships and how they go, so we just want to kind of to like explore that, and then more so push that feeling of like, you know vulnerability and honesty. Yeah,
And
I think
what I
that's what.
love, yeah, and I love that because, being, African American men,
Yeah.
that's not something that is in the mainstream media that you do hear that vulnerability or that kind of perspective. So I was like, oh, this is interesting. I like this. It's so it's
Appreciate you.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's different, and
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, guys. Seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for, picking that out when you were, trying to dissect the music. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. What inspires you guys to, like, when you make a song, or like, because it's two people, it's not just like one person. So it's like, what inspires you guys to say, yeah, that's the one, or I like that, or and stop tweaking it and say, you know what, this is it. This is going to be what it is. We're going to put this out. Like, how do you get to that moment?
I would say the thing about us, right? We didn't really like waste any songs. Like it
Wow.
was
Yeah.
like the songs that we did, they were like, and this is kind of when I talk about like, it was so organic and it just worked because like the songs that we did like are the songs on the project, like, and the
Yeah.
songs that we have are all coming out, like all of them. So it's like it's no like wasted music, no wasted
Yeah.
lines,
It's like, oh
no
yeah,
wasted
we're gonna put
nothing.
this on the shelf, or we
Yeah,
just working
yeah,
on some material. It's like, nope,
yeah,
it is what it is. It's
yeah.
ready to
Sure.
serve, you know.
Yeah.
You want to hear?
And
Here you go.
that's the crazy thing about it. It just works. Like, and I mean, like the music that we have coming out pretty soon is it's amazing, So yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's organic, right? It just
Yeah.
it works.
Absolutely.
And that's how like what you guys have is beautiful, because and we live in a day and age where you don't really see too many groups nowadays. I mean, you had your Destiny's Child, you had those things, but then they break up, and then but the fact that it's good to see you know two people making music that is on like a different, higher elevation of thought, I think. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I respect that, and I think that's awesome. Like, keep it going.
Thank
um
you. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have a question, because I'm always curious about, like, this music industry is very tough. I'm in film. I have a film degree, so I worked in the music world. I used to shoot a lot of music videos, and I transferred, like, moved into movie and filmmaking, and then I got into podcasting, interviewing, and that kind of stuff. But I wonder, and I mean, it's difficult just being a woman, a female, but the music world is tough. How do you guys, like, in those low points, how do you guys rise out of those moments of like depressing moments? What do you
Mm.
do to get past all that?
It's very, it is very difficult, and it's a ever going process. I man, like this the sacrifices and all the things, and it's like you put your all into certain things, and some things, fall through, and some things fall through.
Yeah.
But I think when you go about things and you do it for long enough, you start to get into what your to the why. Like you enhance your skills on the what and the how a lot of the times. That's, your skill level, and all the intricate things, getting educated in the field and networking, all that different type of stuff. But it's like all those questions start to kind of get answered a little bit. But I think that what keeps you going is the why. Once you
Mm,
understand that this is a beyond you, this is your calling, this is you are at servitude to the arts, to the people. And once you kind of transfer that energy out, I think it just makes a lot more sense when you can get out of your way in the process of it. It's like, oh man, it's all about me, or it's all about, I got to get on, I got to get on. Like, no, I have to serve, I have to make art,
mm.
I have
Yeah.
to do it.
I like
There's
that.
no way around. My life won't be complete, and everything else around it will probably be on like thin ice already, and like, it has a weak foundation. So
Yeah.
this actually
Mm,
keeps the why of why you're doing it, actually keeps, what I'm saying, keep you going.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of just to like piggyback off of that, yeah, like depression it's a tough thing, man. You know, I've been through it. You still get those kind of waves of it, PTSD, all those things. But I think what's important is to like kind of manage your goals, right?
mhm, mhm.
And to always like we have aspirations of being like the biggest group like ever, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want, right? But more immediate, we want to create really good music, right? That's more within our control, right? We want to pose questions and have great conversations with people through our music. That's
Yeah.
also within our control. So we
Mhm.
just handle the things that we can do, and like the rest is up to God and the universe. Like that's it's gonna work out. Um, and then like just trying to like maintain like a positive attitude, also using the music as therapy,
Mm,
like
yeah.
which for me is like a big thing because like I don't know what I would do. Like I articulate myself better in music. I have to do it.
Right.
They were saying it's like we have to create. You have to do it. So I mean,
It's
yeah,
a life
like
story.
I said, it
Yeah,
always go back
definitely.
to your why. Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. I love that. I want to ask you guys your question that you guys had on the album, the three levels of influence, right? The money, power, respect. Which one do you guys like prefer or want?
Mm, that is crazy. No one's ever done that.
Oh
I
wow.
put you on to something, Meosha.
Ah,
Come on,
you
Meosha.
like it? You
Come
like
Oh,
it?
on.
All
yeah.
Come
right.
on,
All right.
Meosha. Come through.
I'm
Yeah.
feeling you guys' energy. I can pick it up. You guys got some really good energy, really good stuff.
Appreciate it.
Mm.
Um, shit.
Mm.
Hey.
Oh. One person. No, we're gonna flip a coin on this one.
Yeah.
Uh, man,
Uh,
money, power, or respect.
And why?
Uh, I'm definitely going to go. Shout out to Heidi. I definitely felt her, and she was definitely one of my in my spirit. She was one of my spiritual beings, and that carrying on that. I'm gonna go with power.
Mm.
Um,
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with power. Just thinking about at least the choices. Respect. That's definitely heavy, and you can move. You can move some hearts. You can move some hearts with respect. Um, you could you could move certain people's perspectives or lifestyles with money. Like, but you can move people as a whole with power. Like some of the people that we admire, at least on that end, and it's a very strong influence tool. Like, you know, it can, you know, it's like the whole analogy with a hammer. Like, hey, you can use a hammer to, you know, build a nation or build a house, or you can, you know, do some constructive, you know, very destructive things to individuals to harm people. So power is very, very, very important. I think power has the tool, or has the influence to move a people and to change mindsets and to you know, build nations. You know, like, don't get me wrong, respect and money could definitely do those things as well, but that's money is a little bit more like rooted to like commerce, and it can get very diluted, and it can get very like conflicted with certain things, you know, when it comes to that. And respect is, you know, a lot of those things could kind of like, it can be fickle sometimes. You could lose respect and gain somebody respect in a quick, you know what I'm saying, in a quick essence, you know, sometimes. But I think power is a little bit more substantial. I can, you know, I can be a person that's powerful with very little money, or not have the public eye in a lot of things, but I can still move a city. I can still build schools. I can still, you know, be in the certain rooms that money can't get you in. Or that respect from certain things can't get you in. You know, I'm respected in this field, but in this, like, if you're powerful, it can really, really change some things. So yeah,
it's a good answer.
I really like your answer, Day. I really like your answer.
He's like, how do I follow that? How do I?
But I think I'm gonna have to go with respect, though.
yeah.
I feel like
I'm not mad at that one.
coincides with love more. And then I also think respect coincides with power. So I feel like it encompasses kind of the hierarchy of needs that you have as like a human. So as far as respect and power, I think like if someone respects you, it kind of acknowledges that you have power, and they respect the way that you use it. So that's how I would think about that.
That's hard.
As far as love, he always says that. As far as love and respect, I think that goes down to the way that you treat people, and I think that you kind of get that in return. So I think respect is like the energy that you're kind of putting out, and you're more than likely to receive back. So I mean, that's how I would answer that, I guess.
I like it. That's a good answer.
Yeah, I like that. That's a very good answer. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, hey, and you guys both power and respect. I mean, you're a duo. So I mean, you guys got it. So hey, you got it in spades.
The duality of it all.
Exactly. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to just get into this business of music? What does that look like?
Stay out of people's DMs and stay out of people's business. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Worry about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. No,
love it.
I'm sorry, you gotta be straight.
Yeah.
Hey, worry about make your own goals. Like, stop getting on the gram, man. Like, that's cool. That's man, stay sick to the craft.
Yeah.
Do it for the people, do it for the art. Do it for the knowledge. Do it because it's your life source. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you have those other anchors, like money on your mind, I'm only doing this for the money. I'm only doing this to be like, if you have those anchors that's running in your mind, I think that a lot of the times, ironically, it becomes some of the anchors that hold you back from certain things. So if money is your main motivator of things or whatever, chances are how the universe acts when it comes to, you know, Murphy's Law and everything, it's like, or Newton's Law, and it's like, you may find yourself in more of hurdles or setbacks because of financial things or whatever, or that, you know what I mean? Or you might find yourself going into a deal because this big check was in front of you, but that was your anchor. Like, and
Yeah.
that becomes one of those things. And also even getting into other things like, hey, if you're only, doing it for your friends' head nods, and like, hey, as long as I can make some, use it as a hobby, I can make some music or whatever. That's cool too. And sometimes that becomes your setback because you won't get outside of your block and travel a little bit and try to expand your knowledge of people, and you're getting your social skills up, and expanding your musicality up. You know what I mean? So yeah, so do it for the craft, like, you know what I mean? Because the chances are that never fails you, because it's replenishing. It's always going to rejuvenate itself. You know what I mean? Because it is the source. So
Oh, that's powerful. It is the source. I like that. It is the source.
Man. Yeah. I would say like they said, make sure you're doing it for, the craft of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say, like, be very calculating, like do like risk analysis, like understand what everything means along the way. Right. And then also, like, decide, what do you like want to do? Like, are you trying to be like, this super famous like musician, or do you just want to like make music? Like, it all depends on like your personal goals. I think the desire to just make good music is going to take you further, though. And I think that if you always have that intention of, really not trying to like screw nobody over, do good business, I think you'll be good, you know. So I would say that. I would say be strategic, figure out what makes you unique, and what message are you actually trying to portray. Not like you gotta like, you're trying to say this in everything that you do, but it could just be like a feeling, But I would say pick one of those and then kind of stick to it, and make sure that it's communicated through everything. Because like, if you're not doing something specific to you, you kind of end up sounding like everyone else, and then you get caught up in like the mundaneness, and it all sounds super repetitive and saturated and everything like that. But I think that those times they're on the way out, like, especially since we're here now. So it's
Hey, there we go.
There you go.
There we go.
There you
Drop
go.
the mic. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. And then just add one little quick thing, add on to what he was saying. Getting the team, man. Trusting your team and getting the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, can't do it by yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Where can people follow you on social media so they can find you guys and check out all your music and all the new things that you guys end up got going down the pipeline?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For Instagram, it's underscore the actual symbol underscore it's a cool day. For Facebook, it's a cool day. Spelled out exactly how it sounds. Twitter, same thing. It's a cool day underscore. It's all this stuff. Like, like if you go to YouTube, the DSPs, all streaming platforms, as far as like where you can be able to listen to audio and listen to music, Tidal, Apple Music, Spotify, It's a Cool Day. You're Welcome is the new album, new project that we're working on. Any updates as far as like, new features that we're getting into, or any new music videos, or any type of content, all those things will be on our platforms, from TikTok to all of all the rest of the socials as well. They will be updated on there. I mean, anything else cool?
Personal pages at Chase or Lose, and then at day underscore. We're like Wu-Tang in a way, where we're like individual artists, but we're a group at the same time,
Yeah, definitely like the Avengers.
Yeah. Check us out, man. Like, for real. Like, you gonna like what we coming out with, you gonna like what we already got out. It's dope stuff.
Right.
It's dope.
That's right. Everybody go stream it. Go listen, go follow. They're amazing. You're not gonna be disappointed. They're just awesome. I like you guys. You guys are awesome. So
thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys for coming on. And thank you guys for listening. And always remember to live love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Yeah.